If I could do anything. If you were to ask me, what would you like to be doing right now and who would you like to be doing it with? Without hesitation, my answer would always be the same. To be on my young mare Revy, jumping her in the BC Summer Games. I am not particular on the location of the Summer Games, only that we would be successfully competing in them together. This has been a lifelong goal of mine since I can remember. Unfortunately, it has also been a very challenging goal, one with many uncontrollable setbacks. I'm sure you've heard of the saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. Well, I've learned that you can't make them jump either. My story started when I was 5 years old. I have always been infatuated with horses. My mother could relate to my interests as she too adored them as a youngster. So she decided to put me in my first lesson at age 5. The rest was history. You couldn't get me off a horse after that day. About a year after my first lesson, I remember pleading with my parents to please buy me my own horse. Luckily for me, my parents had just purchased acreage, and my father had cluelessly decided he wanted a farm. What's a farm without a horse? I asked. Shortly after, my father blindly agreed to my fantasy and purchased 2 horses, one for me and one for my mother. Years following, all I did was eat, breathe, and sleep horses. At that time, caring for them didn't faze me. It was a labor of love. But by the age of 8, I had got the itch to compete in the hunter-jumper world. I had discovered my niche, and boy was I good at it. My 14.2 hand-high pony named Jenna took me over everything. We were soaring. I was over the moon as we were winning every show we entered. Within 2 years, I had over 300 ribbons on my bedroom wall, most of which were first, second, and third place. It felt good. In fact, it felt almost too good. Little did we know, things were about to get difficult. As I grew, things started to change. Unlike most sports, when you grow, I needed more than just a new pair of runners. I needed a bigger horse. Unfortunately, I chose the most expensive equine sport known to man, and a new winning horse would cost my parents upwards $20,000. This woke my parents up quickly, as he regrettably remembered agreeing to this exhilarant sport. Our options were low. Go into financial debt for a sport that may or may not change my future, quit showing altogether and join a team sport like volleyball or soccer, my father's first choice, or purchase an unbroke, inexpensive jumper horse. Of course, you know what my first choice was. She was the young, unbroke mare named Reflection. I called her Revy for short, as she had an engine of her own and was all revved up. Together we were going to make it in the big league and move mountains. Unfortunately, things didn't go quite as I had planned. I was 12 years old when I got Revy. She was only 4. My mother had been advised by our coach not to purchase such a young horse and warned about all the dangers that could go with owning a large unbroke animal. But I was determined to make this work. I gave up showing for 2 years to train her. I watched all my peers jump higher and higher on their broke old school horses, while Revy learned how to jump 2 feet consistently. Finally, when Revy was 6.5 years old, we were ready to show together on the jumper field. Initially, things were going great, and I felt like I was back in the saddle. Then I got impatient, as I had a real desire to jump higher. I wanted to catch up to my peers and push Revy to new heights. I wanted to prove to everyone, including myself, that we could do well. Unfortunately, my plan backfired. Within one year, Revy had developed such a bad stop to the jump, she even got the professional riders off. I had too many falls and was now losing confidence. Revy could feel this, and she too wasn't confident to jump. Not even the small jumps. We had gone backwards, and my coach wanted me to sell her. I couldn't bear the thought of selling my horse, so instead of quitting Revy, I quit jumping. If I could do anything, it would be to jump my beautiful horse Revy in the BC Summer Games. This would be the one place I would love to be, with her and only her. I have learned many life lessons from this experience, and I have no regrets. I believe when one thing fails, you weren't meant to do that thing at that time. I don't wish to turn back the clock, though it still saddens me when I think about our jumping journey. I have no desire to jump on any other horses anymore. One day this may change, but for now I plan on enjoying my beautiful mare in the trails and at home, just the two of us hacking around in my own riding ring, making memories together.